One of the first things as a guitar player that you need to be able to do is identify different parts of the guitar. Knowing your instrument is part of learning how to play an instrument, especially when some of the instructions that I give you are specific to parts of the guitar. So all of those little tiny instructions will make more sense if you know what the guitar parts are. So we're going to go through these pretty quickly, starting with the headstock, where the guitar is broken into three major big sections. So the headstock, the neck, and the body. In the headstock, you're going to have a couple of different things. So obviously this whole section here, that's the headstock. If I turn this sideways, you can see a little bit better that these are the tuning peg machine heads. We call these the tuners. That's the easiest thing to call them, and that's fine. You could call them the machine heads too. But they're the things that turn these little pins known as the tuning pegs. Now, on your guitars, you do not have through machined tuning pegs. You have ones that stick out. But either way, the tuners or the machine heads turn those so that you can release or add tension to each string. So we move on to the next part of the guitar, the neck. And the thing that divides the headstock from the neck is this white piece of plastic. The plastic nut is a piece of plastic that has little grooves in it that keep the strings from moving side to side, but it also keeps the strings up and off of the fingerboard on the neck. Now, if I pull this in a little bit closer, you can see that the neck is divided into smaller sections with these little metal bars. Those are known as frets, and those frets create spaces. You can see the space here, 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 all the way down the guitar that our fingers are going to go in. So we don't touch our finger on the fret. We actually use the space just to the left of the fret. And I'll call those fret spaces, or I'll refer to those as fret space 1. And then you'll know that fret space 1 is in between the nut and fret 1, or fret space 2 just to the left of fret 2. Okay, so that gets a little confusing, but one of the things that we have to help ease the confusion are these fret markers. On your guitars, you have a fret marker on fret 5, fret 7, fret 9, and then fret 12. The fret 12 on your guitars is a double dot. Each guitar is made just a little bit differently than the next. And so some guitars, you're going to see a fret space marker on fret 3. That's the neck. We're going to move on to the back and the sides of the guitar. Basically, all you need to know about the backs of the guitars is that these are these are a very thin piece of wood. And so you want to make sure as you're carrying these guitars to protect that piece of wood. The other thing is your back goes to your body, not the side to your body. The sides of the guitar, obviously, these parts, this is the back. The reason your back goes to your body is so that the guitar can project forward, not up. It is really typical of a 6th grade student to hold their guitars like this to the side so that you can see the fretboard. But you're going to learn very quickly how to play the guitar by feel and maybe looking over once in a while to see if you're on the right frets, because that guitar needs to face outward, not upward. The waist of the guitar, which is this part here that's kind of, you can see it's cut out. Your leg is supposed to sit inside of the waist of the guitar. That's this little divot part here on each side of the guitar. Some of these guitars are a little bit smaller, and so you might have to adjust where you hold that. But typically we say that the back goes to your body and the waist of the guitar sits on your leg. And then when you hold the guitar, the rest of the guitar will project outward like it's supposed to. Now, on the guitar, the soundboard is actually the back of the guitar from the inside of the guitar. So this back side of the guitar is what creates a lot of the echoing sounds of the acoustic guitar. The sound hole is obviously the only hole on the guitar. Rosette is just a fancy design that goes around the sound hole, it really holds no purpose other than making the guitar look a little bit more decorative and ornate. The bridge saddle is here. I have different sources that tell me different things, but in my world, this would be the saddle, and then the bridge is the little white piece that holds the guitar strings up. So the saddle holds the bridge to the guitar, and then the bridge holds the strings up off of the guitar. The only thing that you really need to worry about there is to make sure not to put any unneeded pressure, like, for example, laying the guitar flat down on its face. That saddle can't take a lot of abuse. Then obviously we have the strings of the guitar. We'll talk about those a little bit later. The binding of the guitar is just this little piece of, it's hard to see on the video, but there's a little piece of wood that goes around the edge of the guitar to keep the guitar from coming apart. The bracing you can't see because it's all on the inside of the guitar, but there are very specially placed braces that go across the back of the guitar so that when you put the guitar under tension with those tuning pegs, that the guitar doesn't implode on itself. Pick guard. It's just a piece of plastic that gets glued on top of the guitar to prevent any sort of scratching from your guitar pick. So those are the basic parts of the guitar. And as we go over them from time to time, I'll quiz you this week. And then the other thing to know is that there will be an assignment toward the end of the week where you're matching parts to parts.